Was so pissed off. It was a torrent of abuse. He was going off, and then every time he would talk, because the defense kept kept leading to her. So you've seen the flashes, you've seen the first flashes by the woman. And I'm gonna be clear here. The guy said he's seen the first muzzle flashes from the girl. Muzzle flashes was the flash. He never saw a gun, but he saw flashes, and it looked like it was by the girl, which makes sense. But the defense was using that to try to say that was Tory Lanez trying to get the gun from her? And the guy was getting frustrated because he's like, no, he wasn't like taking his time. No, the guy was trying to make Mr. Kelly, he was very adamant on saying Tory was not trying to be a hero. That nigga was mad too. Because the defense was painting Tory as more like he was a hero trying to break the girls up, trying not to get Kelsey.
Now, we know men are not heroes and try to break up no fight between two women. Because for what we know, they like to videotape everything and post it on social media and laugh about it. So you trying to paint Tory as somebody that would do something to help black women that on social media we don't see happen.
But the guy was like, no. He was pissed. He was very agitated. He was cursing and saying Nick and mother. And then the guy said, and he was shooting too. They said, well, wasn't two guns? He said, well, no, but I seen the object. And the man said, then one time he said, did you see the gun? He said, well, yeah, but then they said, well, you said you didn't see a gun. He said, well, I didn't know it was a gun. I thought it was fireworks or, I didn't know what it was, but I seen him waving, and it was about 4 or 5 times. And when he was shooting, he was saying flagrant obsoletes.
Flagrant obsoletes. Because I know what flagrant means, and I know what obsolete means. But obsolete, maybe his English is not his first language. Now, I would think you would say flagrant obscenities, if I can say it right, flagrant obscenities. You know, those obscene words. But obsolete, flagrant obsolete. So I basically understand what it means. Flagrant obscenities. Okay.
Yes. Now, like I told you guys earlier, like you guys seen earlier, the man did say that Quan jumped in it, but this is where I feel like the white guy is a little bit off, because I think maybe Quan's.
Why you gonna say the guy off? If he say Quan was in it fighting, Quan was in it fighting. But you want to believe that Quan was trying to break it up.
Snatching, which corroborates what Kelsey said, with Quan snatching Kelsey up, they probably thought that Quan was fighting too, but Quan was trying to break it up. Now, after like the fourth or after a bunch of the gunshots went off, apparently, Megan Thee Stallion stopped kicking and fell and crawled across the street. And then that's where he said that he's seen all 3 of them on top of her, beating her up. And then that's where it looked like they were going to throw her into the 15-foot ditch river. But see, that's when white people start playing in your face. Like, girl, so you thought they were going to throw, you thought they were going to be here.
Well, a lot of people get murdered and thrown in the ditch, thrown in the river. So if that's what normally happened in that culture, that's what he would think. But I don't mean he playing in nobody's face, I don't think.
Beating her up. He said they were kicking her in the face, beating her up, and it looked like they were going to throw her in the river. And then he heard Probably say the police are coming. So then that's when they drug her across the street and threw her in the car. I don't know about that. But I will say this. They all lied. Because Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey, you didn't tell us about no fight. And that man was very adamant in saying that they was fighting.
My thing is this. Why should Meg, it's called answering only the questions you are asked. You don't incriminate yourself. If you ask me a question and I answer that question, I'm not going to say, yeah, and I was fighting too. Meg is smart. She ain't telling nothing. And when you the victim, you don't got to tell nothing. You let, like I said, she didn't press charges against Tory. Therefore, the state is suing Tory and using Meg as a witness. So if Meg is the victim and the witness, she don't got to tell nobody on social media she was fighting Kelsey. That ain't our business. Why would she come out and tell the whole social media her part in it? I don't care what my part is in something. I'm not going to incriminate myself. I'm only going to answer the question that you asked. I'm not going to add to, oh yeah, we've been fighting too. That makes sense to me.
And they was whooping each other ass, and it seemed like Kelsey was whooping Meg in that car, and Meg was kicking out that car. They was tearing each other ass up, and neither one of them mentioned that fight. That's thing number one.
My thing is, if you don't mention a fight, don't mean you lying. People call that lying by omission. To me, it's not lying at all. If I'm the victim, I am not going to tell you what I did. I'm going to let the state gather all the evidence they need based on my deposition that I tell you, and I come to court and say, I'm going to let the prosecutor do his job. Why would I want to go out there and help the defense do his job? I don't understand that concept from people.
They was all out that car, fighting.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters.
Kelsey and Meg was fighting. Tory was fighting too. He said they all was fighting. They was all yelling and fighting. And then Meg got back in the car and she just kept kicking, and her and Kelsey was fighting. Then the flash, but they were, and all the men kept saying they were all fighting. They were all fighting. They were all fighting. They were all fighting. Everybody was fighting. It was all. So what it's giving me is everybody was. It was a kerfuffle. Like it wasn't like, oh, I can see. It started off with the two girls, but then it became all four of everybody was fighting. Everybody was in it because they said Tory got mad and he was hella mad. Okay? But Kelsey lied. Meg lied. Y'all were fighting. Y'all were fighting. And Meg, it's not giving, girl, you walked away and got shot. That part, I don't understand either. Because what it's giving me, because the man said he never saw her. And he said that she fell to the ground, like kind of fell out, like out the seat.
All that kicking and fighting and kicking and trying to stomp the head off of her attacker. And then you got shot. That would make sense. It's all the confusion thing, but my only thing is this. Meg didn't shoot herself. I don't think Meg lied about not fighting Kelsey. She just smart enough not to come on social media and tell all the content creators she was fighting Kelsey, because that's irrelevant to the fact that she was shot, she was injured, and whatever went down with her, she don't deserve it.
And the man said he never heard dance. He never heard that. He never heard that. There was never a dance. But now what I'm thinking Tory may have shot her still, but I don't think he shot her on purpose. I think he may have been trying to scare her or make her know it, or just they fire it off.
My thing is this. When you pull a gun out and you firing it erratically, a gun that is not easy to shoot unless you got to go through 2 processes. Therefore, nothing is accidental, according to the expert person. You ain't mean to shoot her. You shooting at this woman. You shooting near this woman. You shooting at the ground. Bullet fragments are flying all around this girl, hitting her in both her feet, in her heels. So the gunshot was near her feet. Some people knows, you can go on our nosy hole and listen to Jaguar explain how she had an ex that did the exact same thing. Shot at her feet, and fragments went into her leg and her knee. So if that's a thing, well, I wasn't trying to shoot you, it was an accident, I didn't mean to do it. But you know how to go and shoot at the cement and make sure fragments go into the person. And then you can say, well, I didn't shoot you. You shot at near whatever hurt, and the fragments went into her body, her feet. So just because you saying the person didn't try to shoot her, try to kill her, none of that matters when you pull out a gun and you shooting it at the person. None of that matters. You made a decision to get the gun out and to start shooting at this person. But making sure the fragments got into her feet.
She got nicked. I don't think he really intentionally...
He said she got nicked. I got a picture of Meg's feet on my phone. That was not a nick. This girl's foot was lacerated by those bullet fragments. It was gruesome. It's not a nick when one of your foot is lacerated and the other one got holes in it. I don't get that part.
Went and shot her, but I still think he shot her, if that makes sense.
Make plenty of sense to me.
Like I don't feel like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you in your feet. I think that she's kicking.
No, he like, I'm gonna shoot fragments into your feet. I'm not gonna shoot your feet, but I'm gonna shoot fragments into your feet so you'll know. It is what I say it is, or whatever.
He's shooting, because the man said she was shooting like this. And he was yelling a bunch of flagrant obsoletes. And they said, well, how was he holding the weapon? The man said like this.
Like,
but he just saw
he's
flashes.
saying like that, because I can't really see it like
flashes.
this.
He never saw the gun, but he saw a flash, like 5 flashes. And the 5 flashes came from the little man.
The more they try to put that gun in Kelsey's hand, the more that man is determined, I am not going to put this gun in this woman's hand when I saw this man shooting at this woman. I don't care what the black culture wants, what these black people sitting up in here want.
So, that was the tea. Now, I don't care what anybody else tell you. I don't care what nobody else tell you. Where you heard it, you gotta watch. Because there's some people that was going viral that be posted on the blogs and it's associated to them. And I was sitting next to them in the courtroom. But while the defense was up, they were saying, please stop. No, no. They were rooting for, it's no shade, they were rooting for Tory.
And my thing is, why is everybody in the courtroom rooting for Tory? Want the defense to stop agitating this witness, because the more he talks, the more he implicates Tory as the one that just playing out intentionally shot Meg and not Kelsey.
For Tory. And they were saying under their breath they wished that the defense would stop asking the man questions. They're like, just stop. No more, no more. Because the more they would ask the man questions, it would open up and that man would get frustrated. He'd be like, because what the defense kept doing was trying to put the gun in Kelsey's hand, and the man totally wouldn't allow the gun to go wholeheartedly in Kelsey's hand. Every time the defense would try to put the gun in Kelsey's hand, the man would come back, well, he was shooting too. Then they would try to put it back in Kelsey's hand. Then the man would come back and say, well, he was very angry. And then he was waving. Then they tried to put it back in Kelsey's hand. Then the man said no. It was 5 shots that came from the little man.
5 shots that came from the little man. The more they try to put that gun in Kelsey's hand and say it was 2 women fighting and shoot each other, the man got angry. No. 5 shots came from the little man. 5 shots came from the little man. Not Kelsey. Now, everybody on social media with these videos, this seems to me to be some psychological issues going on here. It's like, if it's proven that Tory did this to Megan, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can't get past it. A lot of people are going to have a total psychological meltdown, because this psyche can't handle the fact that their favorite one did this. And this black woman is about to get justice. So, a lot of people don't know this light energy that's coming into the earth, exposing everything. The light is tearing down this patriarchal society because of stuff like this right here. You would rather this woman not get justice because this man is your favorite person. And it's mostly males that got an issue with Megan getting justice. Why? Because they got a view of her, a perspective of Megan that's not in a good light in comparison to Kylie doing what she did, which is basically women being women, doing what women do, as far as not being kind to each other. But you're gonna hold Megan's feet to the gunfire and just dismiss and just not even think about, not even concern yourself with what Kylie do. But anyway, this is crazy.
You could see the people that was like, for Tory, they like, oh my God, please. Like, that fool that was right next to me, he was wore out. He was gagging. He was sent because, girl, that witness was pissing that man off. Tory Lane's attorney. Tory Lane face looking like crazy. The defense is looking crazy. At one point, this is when you know the defense, because the defense did this twice. They did this with EJ. Then they did this with the man today. he asked, could he asked, could he treat the man, the witness? Mind you, this is the defense's witness, and I don't care. And if they don't, if nobody.
So if you want to treat this witness like a hostile witness because he won't say that Kelsey did the shooting.
Tell you this, they lying. They asked, the man was like, can I treat this as a hostile witness? The defense wanted to treat him as a hostile witness because Sean Kelly came in here and just was wearing it out. And not in a good way. The defense got in there and said, sir, do you even want to be here? Do you want to testify? Sean Kelly said, I'm really uncomfortable. The man was clearly distraught. He was shaken up, about to cry on the stand.
Because he do not want to go to jail for perjury. This man said, yeah, I might agree to come in here and da-da-da, but I ain't trying to go to jail for perjury for saying Kelsey shot this woman when I saw 5 shots come from the little man. Now he adamant he not changing that.
He was getting frustrated with the defense. It was a mess. It was a mess.
Anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this different perspective, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more from a different perspective.